So we will finish up here. We're doing this feature the last 7 shows. And that is the most intriguing NFL teams of 2020, right? Free agency has come and gone. The draft has come and gone. Excuse me. Very gassy this morning. I don't know why. Must be the water, you know? But now we have the 4. We're up to the top 4. We did 32 to 5 of teams that are most intriguing. Starting from the least intriguing, the most boring teams, let's say the teams that you really have no reason to pay attention to much this upcoming football season. And we're going to bring it down and boil it down to get to eventually number 1 and the teams that are going to be most exciting. Everyone's going to have their eyes on. And the ones we pay attention to the most, right? Outside of our favorite team, I'm a big Colts fan, but outside of the Colts, there's a few other teams you got to pay attention to the most. There would be these 4 teams. And we'll start at number 4, the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is, I understand few, if you're not into it or not trying to buy into the hype after last year, which, if you know, going back to the 2019 offseason, the Browns basically were claimed Super Bowl champions, right? They traded for Odell Beckham. They had Baker Mayfield coming off of a promising first year. They fired Hugh Jackson. They had Freddie Kitchens as their head coach. There was a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of excitement surrounding the Cleveland Browns. People thought they were going to go to the playoffs. There's some crazy outlandish predictions that the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. Well, you know what happened? We all know what happened. They fell flat on their face, missed the playoffs. It was a very disappointing season. Freddie Kitchens, dead and gone. He is out. And now Kevin Stefanski comes in. But I'll say this. The same characters, the same crew that was there, the same core of the Browns that was there in 2019 where everyone was or some people were declaring them Super Bowl champions, it's back. It's back and it's better than ever. So to me, I'm buying in for the Browns. This is a team that I'm 100% watching a ton because I think they will be improved and they will live up to the hype that we maybe too early gave them without deserving it last year. Big year for Baker Mayfield, right? That's going to be a question mark and a storyline we're all going to be watching for. But I am confident, personally, he'll take a big step with Kevin Stefanski and look a lot more like his 2018 self than he did in 2019. Having a head coach who knows what he's doing is a major upgrade. We saw Freddie Kitchens not ready for the moment, could not handle his team, and struggled big time with accountability, with responsibility. And as we saw, that was a major flaw for a team that had talent all over the roster, just couldn't put together on Sundays. And one of their biggest flaws, one of their biggest holes was offensive line. It was atrocious last year. It was atrocious. Well, they addressed that. They signed Jack Conklin in free agency, a great right tackle. They drafted Jedrick Wills out of Alabama as a left tackle. They really shored up their line, which would give Baker Mayfield more time because guess what? He has a ton of great weapons to throw to. They signed Austin Hooper. They added Austin Hooper, which now they are loaded really at every position. Tight end, they have Austin Hooper, David Njoku. Wide receiver, you have Odell Beckham Jr., you have Jarvis Landry. You have Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt at running back. This offense is ready to go. This offense is going to be lethal, I think, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I just think, too, what also makes teams intriguing, interesting, must watch is like the swagger, the confidence. They're a flashy team, right? Odell Beckham Jr. is definitely not one to shy away from the drama. They're boisterous. They're confident. That kind of swagger, that kind of attitude, I think to me, it was what makes a team fun to watch. So I'm confident they'll end their 17-year playoff drought. They'll make the playoffs, and they will do so in style and be a fun watch. So the Browns at number 4. Number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. I will say this to start. Couldn't be any more wrong about Lamar Jackson. I was worried about a guy who relied so much on his legs in college that really relied on, rolling outside the pocket, making things happen with his legs that, for the most part, we haven't seen that really work too much in the NFL. But guess what? Offensive coordinators are getting more innovative. Head coaches are getting more creative. And now, all of a sudden, the college game is mirroring the NFL game more than ever. And Lamar Jackson took incredible advantage of that. And last year, had one of the best seasons in the NFL. Obviously won the MVP. Lethal with his legs, even more deadly with his arm. And I'm really excited to see now, in year 2 with the same offense, building it even stronger, getting more comfortable, more familiar with it. I'm really excited to see the heights that Lamar Jackson can go to. I understand, going 14-2 was great, but they had that bad playoff loss to the Titans where they really were dominated at home. Second year in a row, Lamar Jackson has struggled at home in the playoffs. But I'm confident. I'm really confident that John Harbaugh could turn this team around. You saw the jump that they made when they were beaten handily by the Chargers 2 years ago after Lamar Jackson single-handedly saved this season, got the Ravens to the playoffs, and again, they lost to the Chargers at home. But you saw they took that momentum, turned into a 14-2 MVP year for Lamar Jackson. I think they can come back even stronger, even more motivated, even better than they were last year, which is saying something. Record-wise, they will not go 14-2 again, but I think they could be even better and more dangerous come the playoff time, despite having a record that does not mirror the same one they had in 2019. And to have an already talented team, already deadly team, to add Calais Campbell, to draft Patrick Queen, J.K. Dobbins, they had a phenomenal offseason. Didn't lose too much, only added great leaders and great players that are going to come in and contribute right away. Team is full of professionals. I love John Harbaugh. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. I do think outside of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, the John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson head coach quarterback trio, or duo, I should say, combination, partnership, is the best in the NFL. I really do. So I'm buying it on the Ravens. I'm all in. And I think it's also going to be fun, too, is because that division is going to be tough. And the Steelers are improved. They get Big Ben back from injury. We'll see how he plays. But I mean, if he can play more than a game and a half, the Steelers will be better because we saw how brutal that team is with the backup quarterback, either Mason Rudolph or Duck Hodges. They have talent there, especially on the defensive side. The Steelers will be better. I think the Browns, I just told you before, I think they'll be a lot better. They'll make the playoffs. And they'll improve under Kevin Stefanski. And the Bengals. I think the Bengals can be a spunky kind of, one of those teams that are feisty, not an easy out. The record might not be great, but they're not going to be one of those teams that roll over and die. Joe Burrow, their offense is good. Or the weapons, I should say, around Joe Burrow are improving if they can stay healthy. So it's going to be a tough division, which I think will make for interesting games. Which means the Ravens are going to be on your TV a lot more than you think. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they're not number 1. The team at number 1, I think, deserves to be number 1, but the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, what else can you say? Patrick Mahomes is ceiling. That's really the biggest question mark around Patrick Mahomes. How good can he truly get? Like, that's just insane what the levels we're seeing of him play. He comes in, wins the MVP in his first year as a starter. Year 2, wins the Super Bowl, wins Super Bowl MVP. What does year 3 hold? Who knows? And now you get another full offseason of him and Andy Reid getting together. It's going to be so much fun to watch because you know what sells in this league. You know what people watch. You know what's exciting? Scoring, throwing touchdowns, putting a lot of points on the board. The Chiefs are going to do that better than anyone here in the NFL. Anyone on this list. The Chiefs will have the best offense, the most potent offense, and they will be the highest scoring team in the league this year. Scoring sells, and no one does it better than the Chiefs, especially with Patrick Mahomes as a leader. It's going to be so much fun to see what they can do this year to even one up what they did winning a Super Bowl and try to go back-to-back. And guess what? Had a great year, right? Obviously, they won the Super Bowl. They were able to do something that not many Super Bowl winning teams can do. Return most of their players and keep the majority of the team intact. 20 of the 22 starters from the Super Bowl that started in the actual Super Bowl, in the big game, are coming back in 2020. Incredible. They're able to keep the majority of the team together. And they sound, at least when you hear from Patrick Mahomes and the rest of the team that have talked, late February, early March, they're motivated. They are ready to go out and win and not just show that this was a one-hit wonder. Like, they are ready to try to take control of the NFL and be the next dynasty. Take the dynasty away from the Patriots and be that next team for years in and years out. The Chiefs are the team to beat. They realize that it's almost like they embrace having the target on their back. So I'm really excited to see that, for a team that's only continued to climb and increase under Patrick Mahomes, what they could do to defend that title. I think it's going to be a great, great year for the Chiefs. And I'm excited to see them go out there and try to win it again, defend their title. So they're at number 2. They're going to have all the storylines on them. All the attention is going to be on Patrick Mahomes. But number 1, the team that we're going to pay attention to the most, the team that every single game will be saying, oh, what's the score of that game? How is this player doing? How are they doing? The team that had won the offseason by far, single-handedly in one offseason changed the entire outlook of their franchise. Went from perennial doormat quarterback that, showed flashes, was more bad than good. Now it's Super Bowl or bust. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This offseason, you have Tom Brady, you had Rob Gronkowski, you add those two guys to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, arguably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. A great head coach in Bruce Arians. Gunslinger, guy who wants to air it out, wants to score with offense. You give him now the best quarterback of all time. His favorite weapon, maybe of all time, in Rob Gronkowski, with 2 bona fide studs on the outside. This is going to be so much fun to watch. And this is a guy, I do think Tom Brady has a lot left. I don't think he's washed up at all. As you heard on the show, if you listened, even going back to October when we first started this show, I was staunchly a believer that it was more the team around him, is more the offensive line struggles, is more the wide receivers basically coming in and coming out. And the type of offense that the Patriots ran isn't conducive to basically having a rotating door at wide receiver and the offensive line. It's a timing-based offense. It's a trust-based offense. So a lot of the reads and a lot of the routes are more on being on the same page with the quarterback. It's tough to do that when you're being on the practice squad one day, coming in the next day, not having much game experience. So I'm a firm believer that Tom Brady still has a lot left in the tank. I don't think he's washed up. I don't think the struggles of the offense last year were on Brady's shoulders. So I'm really excited to see what he can do with the best offensive collective group he's ever had. 2007 was a great group. Was great. They put up historic numbers. This is just as equally as good. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. You already see Tom Brady's motivated. I mean, he's out there. He's holding practices. He's going to Byron Leftwich's house. He's breaking into wrong houses trying to get the playbook. He's out there organizing workouts with Mike Evans, with receivers, with quarterbacks, with linemen. He seems motivated. He seems hungry, which I think is going to be a really good thing for the Buccaneers and a really bad thing for the rest of the NFC. I love Bruce Arians, again, being his coach, having that gunslinger offensive mindset. Again, for Tom Brady for 20 years, he's been with a defensive-minded head coach. Now you go to a guy that is going to be all about throwing the ball, offense. We're going to win by scoring more points than the other team. And with that being said, the defense, I think, will only improve because guess what? You know, if Jameis Winston behind center throwing 30 interceptions. And I broke it down. I apologize for not having this number offhand now that I'm just thinking about it. I broke it down about 2 months ago. Jameis Winston's interceptions. He threw the most pick sixes ever with 7 in one season. And I believe it was of the 23 interceptions, almost half, that he threw or more came in their own end. So he would throw an interception. All of a sudden, the defense now is on the short side of the field, and they have to stop the offense from going 20, 30, 40 yards to go score a touchdown. So the interceptions weren't only bad and numerous. They're putting the defense in bad spots to succeed, which thus allowed their numbers to inflate and show that really statistically they're not a good defense, but they're better than they are. So you take those 30 interceptions away, cut them in half maybe at the most. You think that defense is only going to improve just because they're going to be put in less worse situations than they were when Jameis Winston was behind center just throwing balls all over the place. And as we see, getting LASIK surgery over the offseason, maybe he's just throwing him blind. We don't know, but and that will be an addition by subtraction for sure. And finally, the last reason why is they're also in a great division, a great conference. I mean, the Saints are the team to beat in the NFC South and one of the best teams in the NFC. The Falcons, on paper, have improved offensively, and their defense is going to be horrific. But their offense can score points. You know, they have Todd Gurley, they still have Matt Ryan there, they have Julio Jones. They've upgraded with Hayden Hurst at tight end. I think it's 10 out of the 11 starters on offense were first-round draft picks for the Falcons. So they have a ton of talent there. I see if they can put it together and, again, have the defense kind of follow suit. But it's going to be a tough NFC. They have some great primetime games. They're playing the Chiefs. They're playing the Patriots. Maybe not with the Patriots. I apologize for that. But they're playing some great marquee games. The Buccaneers are going to be most watched. That's going to be the one team outside of your favorite team, whether you're a Giants fan, Jets fan, Colts fan, Bills fan, whatever team you are. This is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be the one team you're always asking what the scores of that game, who they're playing, how is Tom Brady doing, how's the team doing? Because that's going to be the team that everyone's going to be watching and focusing and paying attention to see, is it really Tom Brady that was the reason for success in New England, or is it really Bill Belichick for the reason for success for the 6 Super Bowls in the 20-year dynasty that the Patriots had on the NFL? So that is the list. That is the list. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the most intriguing, most exciting team we will watch in 2020. Their roster is great. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing how they play, followed by the Chiefs, Ravens, and the Browns. These are the 4 teams we'll be paying attention to the most, the teams that everyone will be asking about and trying to focus on to see how they do this year.